The offense is stifled again here at Lowell Park, a 3-1 loss for the Hyannis Harborhawks at the hands of the Cotuit Kettleers as they take a 3-2 lead in the Barnstable Patriot Cup. Jack Keffer alongside Gabe Sustick. Welcome in to Hawk Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Gabe, another tough game for Hyannis here at Lowell Park. The offense just couldn't get it going. We got to start with the 7th inning where they had the bases loaded and one out, and they weren't able to pump across one run.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing you look at for Hyannis and how they've struggled scoring runs. In that position, you need to find a way to do something. I mean, if at any point maybe just fly one out, because they did have the bases loaded at one point with one out, and then they had to switch a new guy in. I mean, I know it's a new pitcher that comes in, and you're looking at a different guy pitching, and that can be tough. But at the same time, you got to start turning things around a little bit. That's been their memo for really the entire time, is that they get guys on base, but they can't make that final hit. They've done it at times during the season. When they got that 4-game winning streak, that's what they've been able to do. They've been able to do against Chatham a lot of times, but just today it just couldn't happen. That, who knows, that one hit could change the game, but you just can't find that game-changing hit.
That one hit coming at the hands of Quinn Brody, who again stifles Hyannis and puts the Harborhawks behind because of really his influence on the game. Smacks a double and knocks in 2 runs, which were the difference maker really against John Gavin, who pitched excellently, just couldn't get out of that 5th inning of work. He pitched 4 1/3 innings, and he looked great once again, but just that one hit from Brody that put it over the top.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin in his last start did great. I mean, up to that point, it was the same thing with House against Wareham. He was doing great, and then just comes to that one point, he has 2 outs, and then he just can't get that final one. And Quinn Brody continues to punish Hyannis now with 8 RBIs in the last 3 games. That's the biggest thing. I mean, Gavin was motioning through everyone, doing pretty well. He had a couple guys on base here and there, but then it's just that one inning where you can't get that final out. And then that is kind of what starts the tailspin, because Hyannis, while they weren't doing great offensively, they were getting their opportunities. So if you kept it to a tie ball game, maybe something else happens, but that's just the biggest thing, that it just couldn't happen that way. The
big man in John Gavin is our Hawk Talk player of the game. Nicole Hansen caught up with him in his last start.
Well, I'm here with John Gavin, our Hawk Talk player of the game. You had a really great start through 4 innings today. What was really working for you out there on the mound?
Just trusting it. I mean, I know about 7 of the 9 guys in their starting lineup, just growing up with them, and so just trusting it and just having fun with it, and just for bragging rights, I guess.
You mentioned, what was it like being able to pitch against kids that you grew up with and were able to play with before? Did you get to play with them previously, or do you just play against them before?
Played with them, played against them, you name it, I did it. I mean, you saw Cisnara, I told him before the game, hey, I'm going to go give you 2 fastballs, and first one he missed, and then I had to step off the mound, and I was laughing a little bit, and he was smirking at me, and then he hit one out, then he got a hit, and then he tried to steal off me, and I picked him off, and I was like, come on, Tim, you can't do that to me. I'm trying to get outs here. You can't just steal on me. So it's really funny. So it's little stuff like that, and a couple guys definitely owned me in that 5th inning there, but it's all part of the bragging rights, I guess.
You've gotten to pitch to one of your teammates from Cal State Fullerton, Chris Hudgens, multiple times. What is it like, and what's like the comfort level being able to pitch with someone who you play with at school?
Well, just also knowing what my process is when I'm going to face batters, and just knowing what I'm thinking back there. And I mean, you're not going to find a guy that has a better arm than Hudgy and can receive the ball as well as he does. So just knowing that you have a guy that reliable behind the plate is a really good feeling when you're pitching.
Gotten to work with Coach Ray Korn a lot since you've been here. What is the biggest thing you're going to take away from working with him when you go back to school in the fall?
Just trusting the process. I mean, we worked on a slider a lot this summer, and his big thing is staying on top of pitches, and those are his 2 main things. So that's going to go back there, and I have a couple months off before I pick up another baseball, and been a long year, but, come October-ish time, I'll get right back at it and work on that slider, and it'll be a lot of fun.
So like you've been saying, your last start here on the Cape, what's been your favorite part about being able to be here for the summer?
Just the guys, I mean, I've been known to be a little bit of a goofball and keep the guys a little loose. So just being able to know these guys, be myself around them, and even when I have a rough outing, they're still over here giving me hugs and goofing around. And just a great group of guys I'm going to really miss, and definitely be looking at seeing what they're doing during the spring, and just hopefully making some lifelong friends.
All right, great. Thanks so much. Back to you guys.
Thanks, John, and thanks, Nicole, Gabe, John Gavin, one of the biggest personalities in the clubhouse for Hyannis, really just like a team player. What's it going to be like losing John Gavin in this clubhouse at this point in the season with 5 games left to play and then the playoffs coming ahead?
I mean, he's a guy that brings a lot of positive attitude no matter what happens, and brings a smiling face with those dimples as well. I mean, he brings it all there to the bullpen. I mean, he's a big personality. We're saying he's a big guy too. That's a big, gentle giant on the mound that you see him go. He had a lot of great pitches and he had a lot of great outings for Hyannis, and I think he's going to be missed just for that ability. I mean, we're talking about a guy who made a little mustache because he wasn't pitching too well. He said when you have a 7-point-something ERA, something's got to change. I mean, this is a guy, while things were going bad for him, he made it seem better than it was, and I think that's the one thing that you'll miss from him the most.
And we wish John Gavin the best of luck next season at Cal State Fullerton in his junior year. And also looking ahead for Hyannis, they've got a tough 2 games in these next 2 days. Orleans tomorrow night at home, and then Harwich at Harwich. And we talked about it before this weekend, that Hyannis, they needed to take at least 1 game, if not 2, if they wanted to stay in the race against Bourne for 3rd place.
Yeah, I mean, right now Bourne is playing Orleans. That game is still early on, so you'll find out later if Bourne gives Hyannis still an open door and only leaves 1 game, because, I mean, that's all you need from Hyannis. You need to tie them. You don't even need to overtake them, because they will be put in 3rd place if they're tied up there. So Bourne is giving them a lot of chances here in the final ways to keep at them. I mean, there's still a couple of games to go. Even if they do go 2 games, there's still the possibility of it. But if Bourne keeps it open, then Hyannis has the chance. But you have Orleans, you have Harwich, YD. Those are going to be tough games. You have to play Falmouth again as well. You have to play Cotuit as well. You squander your opportunity to clinch the playoffs at the very least. You'll have another chance against Cotuit again and maybe find a way against Orleans and Harwich. I mean, Harwich, they played them pretty well, aside from that 12-3 loss really early on in the season. So you expect from that it's going to be what do they do against Orleans.
The offense struggles here again at Lowell Park. The 3rd straight loss for Hyannis. They look to rebound tomorrow night as they take on Orleans, 6 o'clock at Judy Scarafile Field. Be with Gabe and I on that broadcast. We'll see you then.